Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen B, and you're listening live to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we are going to talk some hockey with the Blue Jackets and the Monsters, and unfortunately have some sad news to report regarding the Blue Jackets. But get into that here shortly, and then we are going to talk the Cavs self-destructing. We will talk about the NCAA Women's Final Four that took place in Cleveland this past weekend, and we will get into some baseball, volleyball, and soccer as well. A lot of these teams need to step it up coming up. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Before we get started with the sports news tonight, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky and can place your orders on their website, planetjerky.net. All orders of $50 or more get free shipping, so place your order today. Our second sponsor is Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. And you can follow them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps. And you can also find them on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Stamps. Now a little about IE Sports Radio. For the last almost 10 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com. For sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog. You can find my latest blog there. Our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, now let's get into some hockey. Before I get too far into it, I want to have a little moment of silence in honor of the Jenners, who very sadly at the end of March Boone Jenner's wife gave birth to a stillborn baby boy. So prayers up to them, and please join me in a moment of silence. All right, thank you for that. And now on to some slightly better Blue Jackets news. Sorry, my computer is being weird again. Anywho, the Blue Jackets recalled David Jiricek from the Monsters on an emergency recall They also recalled Trey Fix-Wolanski on an emergency recall. Johnny Gaudreau was out with an illness, and of course Boone Jenner is with his family as they deal with this tragic loss that they had at the end of March. Thursday, the Blue Jackets played the New York Islanders, and the Islanders scored first on a power play. Then Dmitry Voronkov scored on a power play, and Kirill Marchenko also scored a goal. Jake Bean and Daniil Tarasov were both injured during the game and left. And Jet Greaves came in to replace Tarasov, and unfortunately the Blue Jackets ended up losing 4-2. Zach Werenski was nominated for the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy. Jake Bean suffered a broken hand and will miss the remainder of the season. So the Blue Jackets have recalled Nick Blankenburg and Malcolm Subban. Not really sure how he wants that pronounced. So whatever. Subban. We're going to go with Subban. On an emergency recall, Nick Blankenburg to replace Jake Bean and Malcolm to replace Daniil Tarasov. And they also reassigned Trey Fix-Wolanski back to Cleveland. On Saturday, they took on the Philadelphia Flyers. Eric Goodbranson scored a goal and Damon Severson scored a goal, both in the first period. In the second period, Damon Severson scored a second goal. The Flyers scored a goal, and then Nick Blankenburg scored a goal, and that was his first goal of the season. And at the end of the second period, the Blue Jackets were up 4-1. Zach Werenski then scored a power play goal and then scored another goal. And the Flyers got a goal in towards the end of the third period. But the Blue Jackets pulled out the win 6-2. All 6 goals were scored by defensemen, which was a Columbus Blue Jackets record for goals scored by defensemen in a single game. And Jet Greaves had 37 saves. On Sunday, the Blue Jackets took on the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Hurricanes scored 2 goals in the first period. Blue Jackets were down 2-0 at the end of one. And I had to switch games, so I didn't see the rest of it. But they ended up losing 3-0. So I didn't miss much. The next games for the Blue Jackets are tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Thursday against the Florida Panthers, and Saturday against the Nashville Predators. And they have a couple more games after that, and then they will be done for the season. Now for the Monsters. The Monsters played the Rochester Americans on Wednesday and lost 6-1. Luca Del Bel-Belluz scored the only goal. Malcolm Subban was still in Cleveland at that time and had 19 saves. Friday, they played the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and lost 3-2 in overtime. Roman Kahn and Stanislav Svozil had the goals. Pavel Kajan was the goalie, and he had 29 saves. Saturday, they played the Lehigh Valley Phantoms and won 3-0. So Saturday was a good day for hockey in Ohio. And Stefan Matau, Cole Clayton, and Alex Whalen scored the 3 goals. And Pavel Kajan was the goaltender, and he had 31 saves. The Monsters' next games are Friday against the Laval Rockets and Saturday also against the Laval Rockets. The Monsters are currently in 3rd place in the North at 80 points, 1 point behind Rochester and 2 points behind Syracuse. Syracuse holds all tiebreakers over both the Americans and the Monsters. So it appears as of now the best the Monsters will finish is second in the North. So we will see how that all plays out. But as it stands, it does appear the Monsters will make the playoffs. They have not clinched yet, but their magic number is like 2, I think. So hopefully with these games coming up this weekend, they can clinch. And I'm going to give some shout outs to the chat room. We have Taryn Rodriguez, who is the host of Set Point, our volleyball show, and also SoCal Supreme Sports Show, which is, of course, about Southern California sports. We have John Felipe, host of the Carolina Cast, for all things Carolina sports. Ralph Calise, host of the Yinzer Report, for all things Pittsburgh sports. And we have Drewski, host of the Heart of Texas, for your Dallas sports. So be sure to check out those shows and more on IE Sports Radio. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I get back, we will talk. I don't know. Let's see. What are we going to talk after the break? We will talk some baseball, as the Guardians are just starting their game. And it's not looking good so far, as I just looked at the screen. The White Sox have runners on first and third with no outs in the first inning. So, boo. Boo White Sox. But I'm going to take a quick break. This is Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And of course, we're going to talk about the Guardians now as they are losing 3-0, the top of the first, to the Chicago White Sox. Yuck. Logan Allen not pitching so well today. But it's alright. Let's get into what they've done over the last week. Tuesday, they played the Seattle Mariners. The starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan, second base, Andres Gimenez, third base, Jose Ramirez, first base, Josh Naylor, center field, Tyler Freeman, right field, Will Brennan, DH, Bo Naylor, catcher, Austin Hedges, shortstop, Brian Rocchio, and the starting pitcher was Shane Bieber, and it was his last start of the season, as Shane Bieber will be having Tommy John surgery and will be out for the remainder of the season. Sigh. Shane Bieber pitched a total of 12 innings so far this season, has an ERA of 0, and 20 strikeouts. So, ouch. That hurts. But back to the Seattle Mariners. The top of the fourth, Jose Ramirez scored on an error. Bo Naylor then hit a 2-run home run. Top of the fifth, Brian Rocchio scored on an error. And at the top of the seventh, Tyler Freeman had an RBI with a sac fly. The bottom of the seventh, Seattle scored with an RBI double and then an RBI ground out, and the Guardians won 5-2, and Emmanuel Clase recorded his second save. Shane Bieber pitched 6 innings with 9 strikeouts and 0 earned runs. Wednesday, they again played the Seattle Mariners, and the starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan, second base, Andres Gimenez, DH, Jose Ramirez, first base, Josh Naylor, right field, Will Brennan, catcher, Bo Naylor, third base, Gabriel Arias, center field, Estevan Florial, and shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Logan Allen was the starting pitcher, and he went 6.2 innings and had 6 strikeouts, and the Guardians won 8-0. I was not home that night, so I did not get to watch the game, so I don't have the breakdown of how they got the 8 runs, but they got 8 runs, so awesome. Thursday, they played the Minnesota Twins, and the starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan, and it is now 5-0 White Sox in the top of the first. Second base, Andres Gimenez. Third base, Jose Ramirez. First base, Josh Naylor. Center field, Tyler Freeman. DH, Will Brennan. Right field, Ramon Laureano. Catcher, Bo Naylor. Shortstop, Brian Rocchio. And Adam Karnick, our Chicago guy, just jumped in the chat and said, "Holy cow, the White Sox are beating the Guardians. Stop the game right now." Well, at this rate, Logan Allen's only pitching 1 inning, so this is awful. Wow. Anyway, Tanner Bybee got the start. He pitched 5.1 innings with 9 strikeouts and 1 earned run. Top of the 4th, Jose Ramirez had an RBI single. Tyler Freeman also had an RBI single. And then Will Brennan, a sacrifice fly. Bottom of the 5th, the Twins had a solo home run, which would be the 1 earned run given up by Tanner Bybee. Top of the 6th, Will Brennan scored on an error. Bottom of the 7th, the Twins scored on a wild pitch. Top of the 8th, David Fry went in for Will Brennan. And the Guardians ended up winning 4-2. And Clase recorded save number 3. The Guardians just revealed that the bleachers in left field have been renamed John Adams bleachers. And for those who don't know, John Adams was the guy that played the drum in the bleachers, and he passed away last year, I believe, from cancer. Not 100% positive that was the cause, but I'm pretty sure that's what was happening with him. And I already mentioned Shane Bieber out for the rest of the season, having Tommy John surgery. He was battling an elbow injury at the end of last season. They were taking it easy with him in spring training, and apparently after his opening day start, he was having some soreness in his elbow and he was trying to pitch through it. But after pitching earlier in the week on last Tuesday, he was still experiencing soreness, so they did some additional scans and such and determined that surgery was the best route. He is devastated. He gave a press conference and had a very hard time holding back the tears, so definitely feel for him. He had an amazing start to the season, and it is terrible that we will not have him anymore. So it'll be interesting to see what the Guardians end up doing with the starting rotation. They haven't made any definitive announcements yet. They got an extra day off because the game on Sunday was canceled, so they just jumped a day in the rotation. But they're going to have to make a decision soon on who the 5th starter will be. So we will keep an eye out on that. They also recalled right-handed pitcher Peter Strzelecki from AAA Columbus to replace Shane Bieber, of course. And then Saturday, they again played the Minnesota Twins. The starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan, second base, Andres Gimenez, third base, Jose Ramirez, first base, Josh Naylor, center field, Tyler Freeman, right field, Will Brennan, DH, Bo Naylor, catcher, David Fry, shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Cookie Carrasco got the start. He pitched 3 innings with 1 earned run and 6 strikeouts. In the bottom of the 1st, the Twins had an RBI triple. Top of the 2nd, David Fry hit a 3-run home run. And that's all she wrote. The Guardians won 3-1. And Clase recorded his 4th save. Sunday, as I already mentioned, the game is postponed until August 9th due to weather. And then yesterday, Eclipse Day, was the Guardians' home opener. They opened the gates at 2 p.m. so that anybody with tickets to the game could come watch the eclipse from the ballpark, and then the game started a little after 5. The starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan, third base, Jose Ramirez, DH, David Fry, first base, Josh Naylor, center field, Tyler Freeman, right field, Ramon Laureano, second base, Andres Gimenez, catcher, Austin Hedges, and shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Starting pitcher was Tristan McKenzie. He pitched 5.2 innings and had 2 strikeouts. Bottom of the third, Andres Gimenez scored on an error. Then bottom of the fourth, Andres Gimenez was hit by a pitch, scoring a run. Bottom of the fifth, Jose Ramirez hit a 2-run home run, and the Guardians won 4-0. The Guardians are currently 8-2 and first in the Central Division, and their next games are tonight. And they are losing 5-0 in the bottom of the first to the Chicago White Sox. I don't understand what I'm seeing, guys. I don't get it. Tomorrow they will again play the Chicago White Sox, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and no, just those 3. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they will be playing the New York Yankees here in Cleveland, and then Monday they will travel to Boston to take on the Red Sox. The Columbus Clippers, AAA affiliate of the Guardians, played Omaha Thursday. They played a doubleheader on Thursday. 2 games on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Omaha. Wednesday, they won 3-1. The first game on Thursday, or 3-0. The first game on Thursday, they won 3-0. The second game on Thursday, they lost 5-4. Friday, they won 8-5, and Saturday, they lost 11-5, and Sunday, they lost 11-5. And they are currently 3-5 and in last place. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they will be playing Louisville. Adam says, give it time, the White Sox will find a way to lose. I don't know, 5 runs is a lot to come back from, but we'll see. The Akron Rubber Ducks, AA affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians, played Saturday and Sunday against Altoona, and they won both games. Saturday 5-2 and Sunday 1-0. And tonight they begin a series against Richmond, and they will play Richmond tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that is all for baseball. But let's see what else we've got here. We have some Ohio State men's volleyball. Ohio State is the number 3 seed in the MIVA quarterfinals, and they will take on number 6 Lewis on Saturday. And then the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship, Kent State was eliminated in the first round, and Ohio State was eliminated in the second round. So we have no teams left in the Gymnastics Championship tournament. Boo. But that is going to wrap things up for all things baseball and that other miscellaneous college stuff. I am going to take another short break, and when I get back, we will talk soccer and volleyball with the Columbus Fury. So stay tuned to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Welcome to the 305, aka the Magic City, and this is Magic City Scoreboard. I'm your host, JB, and right here we're going to talk anything Miami. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami, and even high school football. So join me once a week right here on Magic City Scoreboard on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed to all that is sports.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And while we were on break, Josh Naylor hit a 2-run home run, so it's now 5-2 in the bottom of the first. Thank you, Josh, who I affectionately call Joshy because he is my favorite player because I love me a first baseman. Anywho, on to some soccer, and shout out to Marcus Losgrace, who also joined us in the chat. He is the host of our Gloves Off show for all things fighting, so be sure to check out his show. And Adam, who I mentioned earlier, is the host of a Chi-Town Weekly and also co-host of The Neutral Zone for all things hockey. So if you want to get up to date on your Chicago sports or hockey, be sure to check out both of those shows. Now for some soccer. On a Sunday, the Cleveland Crunch took on Rapid City FC and lost 12-3. McCain Springling scored a goal, and Parker Cesar scored 2 goals. The Crunch finished the regular season at 9-3 and are the number 1 seed. Taryn says the Guardians need some of Michael Jordan's secret stuff. Oh, jeez. The Final Four and the championship matches will be played this weekend. The Final Four will be on Friday, and the championship will be on Sunday. On Friday, in the Final Four, the Crunch will take on Rapid City FC once again. Hopefully they could get the win this time. The Columbus Crew on Tuesday played Tigris in the CONCACAF Championship round, and there was no Cucho Hernandez and still no explanation from the team. It is believed that he was on a team suspension for comments made after the game against Charlotte. But don't know for sure because the team said nothing. Even the announcers that call the games have no idea why he wasn't playing. But anyway, Giorgio De Libera was called up on a short-term agreement from the Crew 2. Tigris scored at 18 minutes, and Diego Rossi scored a goal at 42 minutes, and the score was 1-1 at the half. Aiden Morris was yellow carded in the second half and then got a second yellow card at 77 minutes and was done for the rest of the match. And all of match 2, which is tonight. And the Crew finished the match with 10 men for the third match in a row. Derek Jones came in for Hinostroza and was yellow carded pretty shortly thereafter. And the game ended in a 1-1 draw. Diego Rossi was named player of the match. The Crew is hosting a youth soccer camp on June 24th to June 27th at the Browns practice facility in Berea. And for more information and to register, you can visit thecrewyouth.com. Saturday, the Crew played DC United, and Cucho Hernandez was back in the lineup. Still no explanation. Diego Rossi was yellow carded at 45 minutes, and at the half, it was 0-0. DC scored a goal at 61 minutes. Cucho Hernandez was red carded at 75. And the Crew... this was the third match in a row. That's why I had 3 matches in my head for the red carding and the 10 men. So they finished that match with 10 men for the third match in a row. Aiden Morris scored a goal at 87 minutes, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw. The Crew's next matches are tonight against Tigris and Saturday against Real Salt Lake. They are currently third in the East with 12 points. Aiden Morris was named to the team of the match day bench for match day 8. And hopefully the Crew can win tonight. They just have to score one more goal than... Actually, they just need to score, period. It needs to be a draw or a win, I believe, for them to move on. I could be wrong on that. They might need to score one more goal than Tigris, because away goals count more, and this game is in Monterrey. So, we'll see. We will see what happens with that, but I believe they just have to score one more goal than Tigris to move on. Or, actually, a draw, I believe, is all they need. We will see, though. And that game is tonight at 8:45 on FS1. So hopefully the Guardians will be done by then, so I can switch. But I will set it to record just in case. The Fury, moving on to volleyball, played Thursday against the Omaha Supernovas. They lost set 1, 25-20. They lost set 2, 25-21. And then they came back and pulled off set 3, 25-21. But unfortunately, they fell short in set 4, 25-22, losing the match 3-1. Sunday, they were in San Diego against the Mojo. They won set 1, 25-23, and I was like, yay, finally! Because they have been on quite the losing streak. But then they lost set 2, 25-19. They lost set 3, 25-22. And they lost set 4, 25-23. Losing the match 3-1. The Fury is now in 6th place at 5-9. And their next match will be Friday in Columbus against the San Diego Mojo again. Valeria Leon did not play against the Mojos, or against the Mojo. Not 100% sure why. The announcers said that they would try and get an update on what happened, because I believe she played in set 1, if I'm not mistaken. I was watching it on my phone, so it was a little hard to see who the individual players were at any given point, because depending on the camera angles, but I'm 99% sure I saw her on the court in set 1. But I cannot think of her first name, but Ortiz is her last name, took over as libero at some point for sure the second set. It might have been the first, and Valeria never came back in, so not sure what's going on with her. Ray Santos actually played setter most of the match. Tori Stringer was in there for set 1, and she came in sporadically throughout the other sets, but for the most part, Rai Santos was in there. She's been battling a calf injury, so I think they were trying to test her out and see how her leg is feeling and if she could make it through a full match. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully they can get a win on Friday on their home court. They need it. They are falling way far behind with these consecutive losses. I believe this is 4 in a row for them. So keep an eye on that. But hopefully they will get some of these ladies back from injury and they can start meshing with each other. They've had some roster changes and some injuries that have kind of screwed up their chemistry a little bit, but they were looking really hot there for a little while, especially after they crushed the Atlanta Vibe a couple weeks ago. But they have been on a downswing ever since, so hopefully they can figure it out. But I don't know. We will see. They need to get into the top 4 to make the playoffs. In the chat, Taryn Rodriguez says, if Ohio State men's volleyball proves me wrong in their conference tournament, ... So yesterday on Set Point, Taryn predicted that Ohio State is going to win the MIVA tournament. I, for one, hope he is correct. I will be rooting for Ohio State for sure. But they will have to overcome Ball State in order to do so. So we'll see. Unless somebody knocks Ball State out before Ohio State has to play them. That would be awesome, but I don't see that happening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But first they have to get past Lewis. So we will keep an eye on that this weekend and see how they do on Saturday. I am going to take another quick break, and then when I get back, we will finish things off with some basketball with the Cavs and the women NCAA Women's Final Four that took place in Cleveland this past weekend. And a shout out to Patty Bax, who just jumped in the chat. She is the host of the Buffalo Huddle, which will be right after me. So stay tuned for that, and I will be right back.
Yo, what's going down? This is Spaced Out Sports with your host, J-Man, giving you all Houston sports straight from the source, brought to you IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. In this show, we're going to talk about everything Houston, through and through, and everything. We're going to talk about the surrounding areas. We're going to talk about local sports, everything in Texas in general, mainly Houston, but we're going to talk about everything in the sports world. I want to hear from y'all. Y'all definitely going to hear from me. We're going to go from anything all over, from football to MMA to everything. Let's have a good show. I'm looking forward to hearing from the city. Y'all make sure y'all just check me out every Wednesday right here at Spaced Out Sports, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go.
Hey, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans, this is Jen B, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin-Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So, the Cavs. Tuesday, they played the Utah Jazz. Starting five were Darius Garland, Caris LeVert, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. Donovan Mitchell is still on restriction as he's rehabbing his knee injury, so he was out for this game. At the end of the first quarter, the Cavs were up 40-25. At the end of the half, they were up 67-47. At the end of three, they were up 97-81, and they won 129-113. And this is the only win I have to talk about. Boo. Caris LeVert led with 26 points, and Jarrett Allen recorded a double-double with 21 points and 12 rebounds. Wednesday, the Cavs played the Phoenix Suns, starting five, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, they were down 34-20. Yes, that's right, 20. They scored 20 in the first quarter. At the end of the half, they were down 72-47. And yes, that's correct. They scored 47 points in the half. At the end of three, they were down 98-77, and they lost 122-101. Donovan Mitchell led with 24 points. Saturday, they took on the LA Lakers in LA. The starting five were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, they were down 36-33. Not so bad compared to the rest. At the end of the half, they were down 65-56, getting worse. At the end of three, they were down 90-78. Worse still. And they lost 116-92. 7. They didn't even score 100 points against the Lakers. Come on. Ugh. Marcus says, ooh, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. I don't know what's happening with this team. I really don't. Darius Garland led with 26 points. Jarrett Allen had a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds. And they still couldn't break 100 points. So, what the freak? Sunday, they took on the LA Clippers. And things were looking up. The starting five, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. And once again, Donovan Mitchell was out because it was a back-to-back. So, at the end of one, they were up 40-33. The end of the half, 80-59. 80 points in the first half. They scored 80 points in the first half. And as you recall, I said I had no more wins to talk about. So, the end of 3, they were up 98-86. Still a decent lead, right? How could they lose? Well, they did. 120-118. Darius Garland led with 28 points. The Cavs' next games are Wednesday against the Memphis Grizzlies, Friday against the Indiana Pacers, and Sunday against the Charlotte Hornets. They need to win all 3 of these games. They are currently the 5th seed, half a game out of 3rd, 1.5 out of 2nd. The Magic and Knicks are tied in 3rd and 4th place, respectively. So the Cavs need to figure out what the heck their problem is and start winning some basketball games. Because they are falling apart at the absolute worst time possible. They are guaranteed a playoff spot, but they can't seem to beat anybody except the Utah Jazz. Ugh. Anyway, on to NCAA Women's Final Four that took place in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Arena. Yes, Adam. They only scored 38 points in the second half. It's astounding. Astounding. 80 in the first half. 80. And then nothing the rest of the game. Just absurd and pathetic. Anyway. So, Friday, NC State took on South Carolina. And South Carolina won 78-59. And then UConn took on Iowa. And Iowa won controversially 71-69 after an illegal pick was called on UConn that has been up for debate ever since it happened. I saw the play. It was an illegal screen, if you ask me. But I am not a basketball referee. It looked like a good call to me. But, whatever. Then Sunday, Iowa took on South Carolina, and South Carolina won 87-75, and they are the NCAA Women's Basketball Champions. Caitlin Clark's college career has come to an end, but I'm sure this is not the last we will hear of Caitlin Clark, as she is entering the WNBA draft and is on the U.S. women's team. So, that is that. I actually do not have any Browns news. Absolutely nothing has happened in the last week. I did see a rumor that the Browns are most likely going to pick up the 5th-year option on Greg Newsome. But other than that, there has been nothing. Nada. So, that is that. And I'm going to cue that music. Thank you for joining me in the chat. Adam, Marcus, Patty, Taryn, Ralph, Drewski. And my cursor's not working. Is that everybody? Did I get everybody? And John Felipe. All right. That is all for tonight. Thank you for joining me, Jen B, on the Show of the Land. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, Threads at BelieveLandGirl, and on TikTok at Jen, JENN .BelieveLand. Also follow the show for daily updates on Cleveland and Columbus sports on X at Show of the Land IE. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax with all that is Buffalo sports. Be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio, and everybody else too.
What?